Confirm the audibility, please. Visible, class visible. Hello, good evening, good evening. Hello, bachcho, good evening. Good evening, Sandeep. Very good evening. I can see some names here. iPhone, good evening. Monica, good evening. Dheeraj, good evening. Very good evening, guys. Very, very good evening. Prateek, good evening. Very good. So you people are Jinath, good evening. Likita, good evening. And good evening to everyone out there, literally from the heart. Blessings to you. Good evening to you. Reason is because at this time, if you are sitting for a class, that means you are not an ordinary child. That means you are really an aspirant. That means you have some focus in mind. Most of the students that come to us, they have a focus of becoming a doctor. Well, our team is specialized for that. But anyhow, those who have joined us, they go to their dream colleges. Some don't get their dream colleges, but they enter into medical colleges so that, yes, they can have doctor in front of their names. And everyone, they become good person because the team here is such that you all, because the exchange of learning, transfer of learning, transfer of thoughts. So I can assure you that definitely you will be gaining a lot by being here. And really, when I asked my technician that how many students are there, and he said around 250 are here and around, I think, 100 are here. So bless you, bless you. My name is Dr. Anurag Verma, and I am a zoology teacher in Shri Gosalites. Right from the day one of Gosalites, as one of the 6 founding members of the team of this college. And the name Gosalites is actually what the students used to call us, the Gosalites, and they call themselves as Gosalites. So this is by the student, for the student, and of the student. That's it. It is by the student. If we don't get that courage and confidence, how could we can start with such a big leap? Anyways, so I am a doctor, I am a physician turned tutor. So by my profession, by my qualification, I am a doctor, and by my passion, I have become educator. I call myself and all of us educators. Hope I am audible to everyone, right? I am audible, visible, everything good. How is the college, sir? Okay. See, college is by the student. If the students are happy, if the students are great, the college is great. College, maximum human beings that are living inside the college are the student. Maximum. The ratio is, so college means what the students are, that makes a college. Okay, bacho. My Peru, I am Dr. Anurag Verma. So if you say my name, Anurag and Verma, and doctor is my salutation, which I have got by hard work and blessings of the elders. I have done my MBBS from JLN Medical College, Ajmer. Ajmer is a small town in Rajasthan, from where I belong to. That is my hometown also. And JLN stands for Jawaharlal Nehru Medical College. And it's a very old college. Earlier it was called the Queen Victoria Medical College, but then later on changed as JLN Medical College, Jawaharlal Nehru Medical College, Ajmer. Ajmer is in which town? I mean, which state? It is one of the small town in Rajasthan. Well, you will be knowing more about me. I'll be knowing more about you. And before that, let us talk some academically. Okay, fine. Now, this chapter, Animal Kingdom, little bit information about this chapter. As you know that the test which you are aspiring for is NEET. Okay, so this NEET examination, the biology questions are 90. I mean, 100 questions are there, and where you can leave, I mean, choice is there, and you can leave 10, and 90 you have to attempt. You have to, if you want, you may leave more, but the marking is done in such a way. Now, each part of the biology, for example, the zoology and botany, it cost us 180 marks. 180 marks each. And around 50% of the weightage is of biology. And let me tell you, biology is even more fruitful, it is more rewarding. You work this much, you get this much. So there are, the two classes, class 11th and class 12th, that becomes the syllabus for the test. This is one of the chapters, the first chapter in the zoology, and this is Animal Kingdom. Now you have to buy a book called NCERT Biology Class 11th. I repeat, NCERT Biology Class 11th. No need to buy. Since you are at home, you can even download the book. You can download chapter by chapter. So today itself, you have to download which chapter? Animal Kingdom. Animal Kingdom. You can also download the whole book, and you can download only Animal Kingdom. It's up to you, depending upon your speed. Okay, so before beginning, let me ask you something and let's talk more, okay? So, Dr. Siddharth, you were taught by Dr. Siddharth earlier. Lucky guys, okay? So, I'll be asking you a few questions and then we can proceed further. And my question is, okay, tell me, are we symmetric or asymmetric? A means absent, and symmetry, symmetry when the body design is such that you can divide the body into two mirror images. When you cut the body, you can get two mirror images. I will not call it as the same. They are not the identical. They are the mirror images. This part, this is not identical. These are anti-mirrors, mirror images. So when you get the mirror images, then we call it a symmetric. And you are right, we are symmetric. Very good. So we people are symmetric. Human beings are symmetric. Perfect. So first question is answered very well. Question number 2. Do you know what type of symmetry we have? Any idea? Well, we have not taught you, but just asking whether you know it or not. Yes, please. Okay, I'll give you option. So the type of symmetry in humans. Symmetry in humans, okay? This you have to tell me, and options are, there is a radial symmetry, then there is something called biradial symmetry, then there is something known as the bilateral symmetry. Okay, bilateral, biradial, or radial symmetry. What type of symmetry? 1, 2, 3. Only 3 options are there for you. And you guys, I just wanted to gauge whether you people are remarkable. The way, answer is not important. The conviction is important. The speed by which, the confidence by which you are answering, that is very, very motivating for me. Okay, so believe me, you can go along this journey, and we will be reaping very good results, and that is my promise. Bilateral symmetry, what does this mean? The bilateral symmetry means that we can get the body into two mirror images, when we cut the body from how many planes? Tell me, how many planes can divide our body? How many planes? Come on, quick. How many planes can divide our body into two? Yes, very good, very good. I take your answer. I know there is a lag here. I do agree there is a lag. So that means if you write the answer now, then I can see. So how many planes are there? No, how many planes? My point is, how many planes can divide our body into two? Bi means two. Bi means two. Lateral means side. Lateral. My question is, which plane? Okay, how many plane? And the correct answer is only a single plane. We can divide the body into two mirror images by a single plane. Only a single plane. Only a single plane. Then it is called bilateral. Only a single plane. But so when many planes, please note down, when many planes can divide the body, here many planes. Here only one single plane. One single plane. Let me tell you, what is that plane? When you take and divide the body like this, you get right lateral and left lateral, and you have divided the body into two mirror images. So this is a bilateral symmetry, and remember, other than this we don't have any other. If we cut like this, we cannot divide into mirror images. If we cut like this, any doesn't matter at all, because we won't be getting the mirror images, the identical. You cut like this, you won't be getting only a single plane, and this plane can divide the body into two identical mirror images. And bacho, yes, people are writing the answer. I don't know how you know all this. My gosh, how do you know all this? And do you know the plane which is this plane? Which plane is this? Okay, which plane is this? I'll show you once again. Which plane is this? See. Which plane is this? And I take it. The plane is sagittal. Very good. The plane is sagittal. Please confirm the spelling of sagittal. Whether two G's come or two T's come. Confirm the spelling of sagittal. Two T's come or two G's come. I have divided, people are divided on G's and T's. Sagittal, okay, I'll check it. So please understand, sagittal plane is the plane, and that is correct. Now, is a particular sagittal plane or any sagittal plane? Any sagittal or a particular sagittal? And the correct answer is yes, please. And the correct answer is particular one, and that is correct. And this is called the mid sagittal. My dear bacho, please see. This is also sagittal. All this is sagittal. You cut my body like this. Sagittal. This one is mid sagittal. This is mid sagittal. So yes, we have added one thing, that mid sagittal. So one question we have understood, and the question is, which plane can divide the human body into two mirror images? And the answer is mid sagittal. And this is applicable to all animals who are bilaterally symmetrical. Let us go around and let us see the animals which are bilaterally symmetrical. Kuka, the dog, bilaterally symmetrical. A cat, Pilly, bilaterally symmetrical. An elephant, a giraffe, all mammals. So mammals are done. In mammals, bilateral symmetry. Now the wall lizard, Hemidactylus. The wall lizard is bilaterally symmetrical. A frog, bilaterally symmetrical. A fish, Bilaterally symmetrical. Earthworm. Earthworm. Bilaterally symmetrical. You know, if you have seen a flatworm like a tapeworm, bilaterally symmetrical, tapeworm, bilaterally symmetrical, okay? No, starfish is not a true fish, bache. Starfish is echinoderm. Then it is a false fish. I will be giving you, in fact, I won't give you any list. I will make you write in the class. I can show you some pictures. I'll make you write in the class. So starfish is a false fish. It is an echinoderm. Okay. So, bacho, I think I have gauged you, and you know some of these important terms. So I told you that the flatworms, the roundworms, all these animals, in fact, the flatworms, roundworms, and I said about earthworm, all these are bilaterally symmetrical. A cockroach, bilaterally symmetrical. Okay. Now let us see this one. What about this design? I just got it in front of me. What do you think this one? What do you think this design? इसमें तो दिक्कत हो जाएगा because we have two planes. No, we cannot get this one. ये तो नहीं है. This is not the bilaterally symmetrical, but yes. This one is bilaterally symmetrical. Bilaterally symmetrical. Okay. Now, bachcho, tell me, what type of symmetry do you understand is present in this water bottle? What type of symmetry do you think is present in this water bottle? I'll post you all the images to you, don't worry. This whole PPT I will post you. This is meant for you people only, not for keeping with me. This one. Chudu, clearly you can see this one. Not getting the correct answer, this one. There are many planes. No, actually you are going on these lines. No, I am talking about a cylindrical bottle, cylindrical one, which is a generally cylindrical bottle. Okay, a cylindrical bottle, this one, and a cylindrical bottle without any embossing and all. Now this is a radially symmetrical. This is a radially symmetrical. So you understand about radial symmetry when many planes which passes through the center. Condition is it should pass through the center, can divide the body into two identical mirror images. That is called radial symmetry. And if a single plane can divide the body into two lateral halves, and that single plane, my dear children, is always called mid-sagittal. Come on. Okay, question number 2. You have passed the first test very well. Question number 2. How many longitudinal planes you know? How many types of longitudinal planes? Yes, longitudinal planes कितने होते हैं बच्चों? Longitudinal. Longitudinal planes. Oh my gosh, correct answer. Very good, correct answer. Longitudinal planes, and my question was, how many longitudinal planes are there? And there are 2 longitudinal planes. Longitudinal means the plane that is parallel to the long axis. The plane that is parallel to the long axis, this is known as the longitudinal plane. Longitudinal because it is parallel to the long axis. And you said there are 2 planes which are, one is this way and one is this way. For example, I have to show it as bilateral, otherwise it is looking like radial. Okay, so bacho, one is this one, as I said, this one is sagittal, mid-sagittal. Okay, the other one from ear to ear, come on, tell me, what is this called, ear to ear? Ear to ear. What is this called? Ear to ear. Come on. Yes, your answer is absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. How it is possible? How it is possible your answer is correct? At this stage, when you have just passed your class 10th, I don't know, maybe or some other Akka Anna is sitting with you, maybe your parents are sitting with you. How can you answer the other name? Absolutely correct. And that is the frontal plane. Bachcho, frontal. This plane is called frontal. Frontal. There are two longitudinal planes. There are two longitudinal planes. Longitudinal two planes are there. So one is the sagittal. Two are the longitudinal one. And why we are calling them longitudinal? Because they are longitudinal. Why we are calling them? Because they are parallel to the long axis, and one of them is sagittal, one of them is sagittal, and one of them is called frontal. Very good. Frontal, sagittal, frontal. In fact, another name of frontal, the better name for frontal, and that is coronal. Coronal. What is this? Coronal, also called frontal. If you answer frontal, 100 marks. I mean 100% correct answer. Frontal or coronal. My purpose is to make you learn the alternate name for frontal. It is also called coronal. Coronal. The coronal name is come from the corona, and corona means crown. Corona means crown. Sagittal. Sagittal. Any idea what is another name for the sagittal? Any idea? Anyone? Anyone? Now this is not difficult, but this is something not very common. Any other? My gosh. Not possible. Some parents are sitting with you. Anyways, if that is there, no problem. Yes, it is called medial. Medial. Sagittal or medial, coronal or frontal, both are same thing. Sagittal or medial and coronal or frontal. Okay, bacho. So I hope this is clear. And one more plane is which is perpendicular to the long axis, and that is called. I repeat my question. The plane which is perpendicular to the long axis is called. The plane which is perpendicular to the long axis is called, and that is called transverse. Yes, the one which is perpendicular to the long axis is called transverse. Transverse. The one which is perpendicular to the long axis is called transverse. This is perpendicular to longitudinal or long axis. Perpendicular to the long axis, and this one is parallel. This one is parallel to the long axis. Parallel to the long axis. But so I think so far all points are clear. So please understand this is the final take. After I asked you some questions, I asked you about, I have discussed something called mid-sagittal and para-sagittal. The one which is not mid is called para. Para means by the side, para-sagittal. Another thing that is very important is that the two halves of the body, right, this is right lateral and this side is a left lateral, and therefore when you get right and left lateral, two lateral halves, this type of symmetry, as you all said, is bilateral. Bi means two lateral halves. Bilateral. My question is, can coronal plane divide the body into two equal, or we can say antimirrors, the mirror images? Can coronal or frontal plane divide the body? Yes. Oh my gosh, how it is possible, beta? Think of, your answer is correct. Yes, correct answer. Very good. See, those who are not understood the question, maybe your answer is not wrong, you have not followed the question. I'm asking you coronal. This is coronal. Ear to ear, the ear to ear coronal. My question is, Can the coronal plane divide the body into two lateral halves? Can the coronal plane divide the body into two lateral halves? Answer is no. Can the coronal plane get two equal or mirror images? Answer is no. You can see this side, if I cut from here, maybe it is passing through the center, but one side will be the front side, one side will be the back side. Front side, back side, front side, back side. So it is not going to give the two identical, two lateral sides. So coronal plane cannot divide, but the mid-sagittal plane can divide. Okay, bacho? Now, some more points. Some important points here. In these planes, we can say coronal, sagittal, and coronal plane, coronal or frontal, okay, both are same. Coronal plane divides the body into front and rear, okay. करेक्ट है ये अभी तक करेक्ट है फ्रंट एंड रियर द फ्रंट इज ऑल्सो कॉल्ड एंटीरियर and the rear is also called posterior. Anterior, posterior, those who know Hindi, they can do it like A for anterior, A for आगे front, and P for posterior and P for पीछे. Anterior, posterior. Now one side is the belly side, na? Belly. This is the belly side. This is the belly side, okay? So belly is also called ventrum, okay? Bachcho, belly is also called ventrum. So belly side can be called ventral. The belly side can be called ventral. So in our body, now this is only applicable to human beings. In our body, the anterior is same as ventral side, because it is a front side, or this is the belly side, and opposite to ventral is dorsal. So in human beings, anterior is equal to ventral and posterior is equal to dorsal. You know that the belly side is called the ventral side, the belly side. Imagine the belly side of a dog. And answer this question. Can we apply the same logic to the dog also? That anterior means the front, and posterior means the rear. Okay, front is the head side and rear is the tail side. Okay, done. Can we call anterior as ventral and posterior as dorsal for a dog too? Can we call anterior as dorsal? Okay, I'll make this as a question. Could anterior is same as ventral in or for a dog? Could anterior is same as ventral for a dog? For human being it is applicable, but can we apply this to the dog? Let me see the answer. And answer is no. Bacho, you are right. You people have done something, I don't know what you have done, but you are going good. And the answer is no, bacho, no. No, because it is the front and the rear. The front is the head side, cranial side. The rear is the tail side. Okay, that is anterior and posterior. A dog is approaching from front. The dog is approaching from front. I am seeing the front side, and back side I am seeing the rear side, cranial, head side, caudal, tail side, head side, tail side, anterior, posterior. But in case of dog, the ventral is facing the ground. Ventral facing the ground. Dorsal is opposite to it. Ventral face the ground. It is also applicable to us. You see a newborn baby born. In a newborn baby coming from front, we are seeing the head, Anterior, okay, we are just seeing, I'm not saying that we can call it. And the ventral dorsal are different. But what has happened, the human beings, we have an erect posture. Which posture? Erect posture. And because of the erect posture, the front and anterior and ventral becomes the same, and posterior and dorsal becomes the same. So belly side is the ventral side and opposite to it is the dorsal side. Are you guys with me so far? Dorsal, ventral, clear to everyone? I want to see the response here as well as the response here. And bacho, please write in English. Please, bache. If you speak, then I somewhat understand, but I cannot read and understand that. Okay, so please, bacho, here also. Understood everything clear? Wonderful. So this here two people are writing in English, perfect. And here, oh. Anyways, बच्चों ठीक है. So I think you can also understand this is okay. Now few things before we begin, and few things I think let me gauge you somewhat more. I mean, all these points have to be understood, and there has to be written in some place. All these points have to be written in some place, okay? This is important. All the points have to be written in some place. See, not required, this is not required. And symmetry, and then this one, and here. These terms, the terminology, the terms anterior, the term posterior, the term dorsal, and ventral, dorsal, ventral, anterior, posterior, okay? Then some more terms, superior, inferior, superior, inferior, okay? What else? One more is medial and lateral. Opposite to medial is lateral. Medial and lateral. Another term is proximal and distal. Proximal and distal. These are the commonly used sides which you should know. So planes, you people are perfect. Sagittal, coronal, frontal, that is perfect. I just want to know whether anterior, posterior, just now I have discussed here. Anterior is the front, posterior is the rear. Dorsal, ventral also we have discussed. The belly side is the ventral and opposite the back side is the dorsal side. Superior, inferior. Now these two terms, superior, inferior, and another thing is medial, lateral, and proximal and distal. Let me first clarify them and then we can proceed further. Okay. Now, superior, inferior. Anything above is called superior, anything below is called inferior. Superior, inferior. I'm going superior, inferior. My head is superior to my neck. My head is superior to my face. My face is superior to my neck. Like this, superior. Inferior. My neck is inferior to my chin. My neck is inferior to my chin. Superior, above, higher, inferior, lower. This term. Then another thing is proximal and distal. But before that, there is an important term to understand. Beta, my point here is, suppose if I lie down, and you are a surgeon and you are operating on my body, God forbid. Any human being, he lies down and you are a surgeon, you are operating. You have a manual, surgery manual, on which all the incisions, means cuts, are mentioned. In centimeter details are there, right? If it is eyeball, then it is even the millimeter details are there. So they may say like that, just 2.5 centimeter right lateral to the umbilicus, make a small incision 3 centimeter wide. Make another incision just below the right rib. Again, this is 4 centimeter away from the midline. Now, bring this incision inferior, and go 4 centimeters inferior. 4 centimeters inferior, and then take a curvature and try to join the two incisions. I'm just giving you example. Now this much of big cuts these days are usually not done, but I'm just telling you what I was trying to say, that the textbook, right? For example, this is my midline, and the textbook says 4 centimeter away from the midline on the right side there is a small cut here, and the cut is how much? Let us say 3 centimeter wide, okay? It is horizontal, and then from the center, the cut, another cut, incision means cut. It is going inferior, and then it is going up to 6 centimeters inferior, like that, inferior. So surgery books or any other medical reference book or any medical, non-medical book refers to the body in this regard only. The text writes like that. The problem is, what is inferior when I am standing? When I am standing, what is inferior? Superior, inferior. But when I am lying down, inferior, superior will change. Right now, my inferior is my back and superior is my belly. And if I turn belly side down, then it changes. Then the superior become my back, inferior. So it is a big confusion, and certainly this is not the way medical terminology can be used. So what is the way out? What should we do to avoid this problem? Come on. What should we do to avoid this problem? Come on. Yes, please. What can be done? Towards the head is superior, and superficial and deep. Very good, Teja. This is another thing, superficial and deep. Perfect. I'll write this also. Superficial, and the opposite to superficial is deep. Superficial and deep. All these terms already I have gauged you that you understood these terms. I just now discussed about superior, inferior, and also I discussed about the front and the rear. The front and the rear, superior, anterior, posterior. Anterior is the front and posterior is the rear, okay? This I told you. Dorsal ventral, I told you ventral is the belly side. Ventral is the belly side, okay? So the belly side is ventral, and then superior, inferior, high, low, and I was discussing with you medial, lateral, proximal. So my point is, do we have some reference point? And the answer is yes. There is a reference point. Otherwise, there can be a big problem. There can be a big problem, and the answer is yes. And what is the answer to that? And the answer to that is something known as anatomical position, bachcho. That is called anatomical position. What is called? Anatomical position. Anatomical position. These terms are very important in the very beginning. This will reinforce your concepts, and it will save your time. When you read the literature, you will find less and less difficulty. We will try to understand the meaning of the word, the prefix, the suffix, the root keyword. For every word, we can do like that. So that even if we don't know the meaning, by the meaning coming out of from the word, we can make out something. My point is anatomical position. Here there are two terms. One is called anatomical. Anatomical means related to anatomy. It is means related to anatomy. My dear Pacho, related to anatomy. My dear bachcho, tell me, what do you mean by anatomy? What do you mean by anatomy? And here, my other students, my lovely bache, can you tell me what is anatomy? Anatomy, beta, anatomy, I want. What do you mean by anatomy? Anyone can write down, please. Here also, I will be very happy. And here we are saying, study the internal structure. Very good. Study of the internal and structure. Perfect. Two words. One is internal and the other is structure. Very good. Study of the internal structure is anatomy. The word tummy means to cut. The word tummy, T-O-M-Y, means to cut. And obviously, you can see inside only by cutting. Anatomical studies are done by using a cadaver. If we are doing a human, human anatomy, we have to use a cadaver. A cadaver is a dead body which was voluntarily given for medical studies. These are the dead bodies. They are called cadavers. What they are called? Cadavers. Pick the word cadaver. C-A-D-A-V-E-R. So the young doctors, they cut the body and as per the manual, they learn the things inside. Lot of things, lot of ramifications are coming your way right now. You are clear with the word anatomical. Anatomical means related to anatomy. And another thing is position. What is anatomical position? Let us begin, bacho. I'll now show you some slides so that a lot of time has passed and I have not shown you the slide. I was mesmerized to see your answers, and literally, you people have really going good. Meta-zoans, these are major phyla and label of organization, and well, here we have, I think, these are the symmetry. No, here we don't have. So here we don't have anatomical. I'll show you on internet anatomical. So what is anatomical position? Anatomical position is the position of the body when the man is standing straight. What? Man is standing straight. He is looking in front. Eyes are facing front. Eyes are facing front. And palms are facing front. Palms are facing front. Man is standing straight, eyes are in front, and palms are facing the front, which means that my thumb is on the lateral side and my little finger is towards the inner side. My thumb is towards the outer side, and my little finger is towards my inner side. Okay? I am literally like this. This is my anatomical position. What is this? Anatomical position. Now, every reference, we have to keep this position in reference to explain. For example, in that example of the anatomy of the surgery, I said, go 3 centimeters superior. No. If the body is lying down or maybe head down, legs up, Shirshasana, or maybe tummy down, maybe back down, superior means will be the same, inferior will be the same, medial, lateral, proximal, distal, all the side, all the axis, all the planes will be the same because all are being studied in the imaginary anatomical position when the man is standing in front. And I'll show you this first and then we can proceed because something new for you and therefore it is better to clarify this. We should be getting this, okay? And let me search here. What is this? This is Google. You can also do it in your device, right? Anatomical position. Anatomical position. And this is the anatomical position, very clear. It is mentioned here. You can see the anatomical position. anyone which is even looking front. So this will be the, so you see this one, this is the anatomical position. Clear, I think now it is clear. The man is standing straight. The man is standing straight, man or women. Generally we say man, but man is not the man or male sex. Man means human. Where the man is standing straight, you can see eyes are facing front, okay, and his palms are facing front. You can see this one, his palms are open and facing front. That means I can see that the thumb is outer and the little finger is inner. You can see here, thumb is outer and the little finger is inner. Okay. So now, bachcho, everything superior will mean the same superior. Everything inferior will remain the same inferior without any confusion. My dear children, this is what is called which position? This is called anatomical position. The anatomical position. Man is standing straight, eyes are facing in front, palms open and facing front, thumb is towards outer side, little finger is toward inner side. I will be asking all these questions tomorrow. Have you understood the anatomical position? And I think you will answer. But to another thing. Another thing in this diagram only I am explaining you. The midline, the midline is called this midline or the median plane. The midline or the median plane, this one, the midline or the median plane. Now anything, if we are going towards the midline, we can say we are going medially, we are going medially, and if we are going away from the midline, we use the word laterally. Medially and laterally. Medially means towards the midline, laterally means away from the midline. Malli means once again. Okay. Anything we are going towards the midline, we say we are moving medially, and if we are moving away from the midline, we are referring it to as laterally. Medially and laterally. Okay, so bacho, this is lateral, and this is the medial. This is lateral and little finger is medial, because always we have to imagine in anatomical position whether the man is standing or lying down, his palm facing front or his fist is facing front, his hand is in pocket or outside. Irrespective of that, you have to imagine the man in this position. Again, thumb is outer, that means away from the midline. We can say thumb is lateral and little finger is medial. Thumb is lateral, little finger is medial. Okay, towards the midline. Okay, I'll put some points here and I'll ask you. Okay, so bacho, now you can see this point. There is a green color point here. Let me make it somewhere else. There is a green color point here, and another point is a red color point. Okay, green and red color point, and there is a yellow colored point, a dot, and there is a green color. Okay, green color. There is a green color, a yellow color, green color, and blue color and red color. I think you can make out these colors. This is blue color, and that one is a red color. And let's see you understood or not. I have to complete the sentence. Assuming the anatomical position, complete the sentence by using medial or lateral. The red dot is dash to the blue dot. The red spot is dash to the blue spot. Okay, bacho? The red spot is dash. In the dash, you have to write either medial or lateral. Dash to the blue spot. If you can answer this, then there is no need to do anything further. Regarding this, you are done. The red spot is dashed to the blue spot. Come on. What shall we write? Red is medial or lateral? Come on. Let me see how many of you are answering correctly. Well, maximum are correct, and this is really a good sign. Maximum are correct. Maximum are correct. I think you don't require this. Many of you are correct, and the correct answer is yes. The correct answer is the red spot is away from the midline. The blue is towards the midline. Red is away from the midline. So the red spot is lateral. The red spot is lateral to the blue spot. The red spot is lateral to the blue spot. Very good. Now there is a yellow spot and the green spot. The yellow spot and the green spot. I can say now the yellow spot is dash to green spot. The yellow spot is dash to the green spot. Fill the answer by medial or lateral. The yellow is dash to the green. The yellow is dash to the green. And you guys are right. The yellow spot is medial. You are right. You are right. You have done something. I don't know why you are answering. It is medial. It is medial to the green spot. You can see the yellow spot is towards the midline as compared to the green. The green one is not to that level as the yellow spot is. Now why I have made it here, so that because here you might be confused ki sir dekhiye these are in the same line, so maybe we can use the lateral and medial, but what about this? They are not in the same line. Green is higher, green is superior, so even then we can say medial lateral, and the answer is yes and yes. Even then we can say medial lateral because only rule is towards the midline or away from the midline, medial and lateral. And lastly, let me write here, lastly, you know that the fingers, how the fingers are called? This is the first finger, or also called thumb. First finger, thumb, second, third, four, five. 5 fingers, okay? First is thumb, second is index finger. Third is middle finger. The fourth one is ring finger. And the fifth one is little finger, Mali. देखो ये little finger, ring finger, middle finger, index finger, thumb. Simple, simple, done. Okay, answer. Answer बच्चों. Answer. The index finger is dashed to the ring finger. The index finger is dashed to the ring finger, and fill the answer by lateral or medial. Now here I will just mention something about my classes. That beta, see, you people are writing the answer. I know that the 4th class, you people are tired. Right now, the energy is very high, but we have to maintain the same energy throughout the training session. My point here is, there is no need to write the full, because even if you write capital M or capital L, that will mean the same. In that way, you will not feel tired, your answers are faster. Because see, either it will be lateral or medial. So if I read here lateral, I can understand it. You are saying lateral, and medial, okay? So you can save time. Time to time, I will be saying you what will be your symbol to answer, so that just by a press of a button and you can answer, okay? Done. My dear bachcho, tell me, the index finger is dashed to the ring finger. So let us see how we use this. And this is the index finger, okay? Always imagine not like this, but in the anatomical position, the index finger, and this one is the ring finger. Now see, which one is more towards the midline? Which one is more towards the midline? And the answer is ring finger. Ring finger is more towards the midline. Index finger is away from the midline. So index finger is away from the midline means lateral. Index finger is lateral. Index finger is lateral to the ring finger. The index finger is lateral to the ring finger. I told you that you have to imagine like that, bacho. The index finger is lateral to the ring finger. I hope you understand this. Malli, see, बच्चों देखो, अब ये anatomical position है ना. I have done like this hardly matters. You have to imagine in this way only, right? Now, index finger is this one, and the ring finger is this one. Okay, ring finger. So index finger is away from the midline as compared to the ring finger. Now this is little closer as compared to the index. Okay, so we can say that the index finger is lateral to the ring finger. So maybe thumb and little finger, but even every finger can be referred to as lateral and medial. Every finger can be referred to as lateral and medial regarding and using this concept. Let me see how many of you have written it correctly. And yes, most of you. Dheeraj is requesting AI companion. Dheeraj beta, I am unable to do anything right now. See, I am standing too far, and any change can disturb the transmission. So let the transmission go with the same protocol as we are using for every student. Okay. For any other help, Dheeraj, I am there with you, even if you join us or not. But as you are a lovely child, and as I just call you Bachcho, and this Bachcho means my children. So helping anyone will be, it will be my, my pleasure only, right? So anything you can ask me later on. I will share my number to everyone. Okay, so right now, I hope you understand how we are using the word in lateral and medial. And lastly, I am discussing with you something known as proximal and distal, right? I will be using here. Are you guys understanding? Beta, are you guys understanding? As the time is over. Acha, ab samajh rahe ho na, matlab it is not getting over. Acha, one more thing. Was I able to make you understand something new? Because you were answering something very great. So was my pronunciation, the way I speak, the syllables, and my diction, you were able to understand? Because right now you are sitting at other end, so the connection is through the waves only, right? So that's why I'm asking, are you understanding clearly? Okay, and let me see your answer. And you are saying crystal clear, and really I'm happy to know that. And bachon, one thing that I want to share here, and that is proximal and distal. Well, some of you might be knowing this proximal and distal, and others, I am there with you. My duty is to explain you proximal and distal. And first of all, let us understand the meaning of the word proximal. Proximal, any idea what is the meaning of the word proximal? Proximal means near. Pass, okay? The Hindi word pass. Okay? Pass. Pass means closer, near. That is the meaning of proximal. Closer, okay? Better word I can use here is closer or nearer, proximal. And this one distal is farther. Distal is farther, away, farther. Distal is farther. And the Hindi word for distal or farther is dur. And I think the Telugu word is also duram, okay? So the Hindi word is dur. I'm not explaining any Hindi or English or anything. I'm just telling you that how you can, because many of you know Hindi, and if you know Hindi, you can clearly understand P for proximal, P for pas, D for distal, D for dur. Distal for dur, D for distal, D for dur, P for proximal, and P for pas. That's it. So therefore, otherwise you can also do, those who know Telugu, they know it is Duram. Okay, so Telugu also I'll help you out. You can know it is called Duram, okay. So which is Duram? D for Duram, and the other one is nearer. Obviously, one is which is Duram, the other one is closer, nearer. Now, closer, nearer, farther, from where? From. Question is from. And the answer is reference point. Reference point. From the reference point. From where? Answer is from the reference point. Reference point. Now, this body, we take the reference as the trunk. Now, this is my reference. For this body, I will take this as my reference. Okay, this is my reference. These are my appendages. These are coming out. I can also call them as appendages. Appendages. Although we use this word appendage mostly for plants. Now, we have got this. This is called lower limb. This is called lower limb. Lower limb. This is called upper limb. Upper limb, lower limb, upper limb. Lower limb, upper limb. Better don't call it as hand and leg. Please don't call it as hand and leg, because I tell you why you cannot call. The better word is lower limb. Lower limb. Yes, for other animal you can also use the word hind limb. What is this? Hind limb. Can you say with me? Hind limb. And for the upper limb you can use the word forelimb. Forelimb. You can use the word forelimb, hind limb. Okay, so these are the alternate word for other animals, but upper and lower for human beings. Done. Now, why hand is not the correct answer, and I'm explaining you that. Please be very, very cautious here to understand. This is my shoulder, this is my elbow. This is my shoulder. This one is my wrist. Elbow, shoulder, wrist, elbow, shoulder. Okay, this is my wrist, this is my elbow, this is my shoulder. The part from my shoulder to my elbow, this is known as arm. This is called arm. ARM, arm. The part from the elbow to the wrist is known as forearm. Actually, not clearly writing because this marker, it's slippery. Forearm. Tomorrow I will be seeing this, how we can maintain this correctly. Arm, forearm, and beyond the wrist, this part is known as the hand. This part is called the hand. So hand is different. Hand is only this part, beta. Only this part is hand, this part is forearm, and this part is arm. Arm, forearm, hand. Arm, forearm, hand. These are the anatomical terminology that we have to use for the upper limb or the forelimb. Similarly, for the lower limb, now you can easily pick up. This is the hip joint, hip. This is my knee joint, my knee joint, and this is my ankle. Hip, knee, ankle, knee, hip. This was shoulder, elbow, wrist. Hip, knee, ankle. Hip, knee, ankle. The part from the hip to the knee. The part from the hip to the knee. Any idea what is called? This is called thigh. 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 Okay. This is called thigh. The part from the knee to the ankle. Any idea? Now you will be amazed to know. You will be amazed to know this. Really. You will be amazed to know what this part from the knee to the ankle known as. Any idea? Okay, any idea? Come on, any idea? Calf, no beta, no, and someone is writing correctly. And Juhi and Moksha, beta, Moksha, I'll tell you what is Yagini, Yagnan. Please pardon me for taking your name. Amrita, Redmi Note, Clara K, Me Chepandi, Mir Chepandi. Okay, I'll say, okay, I'm saying to you, but I just want to know whether, yes, beta, yes, this is leg. This is called leg. This is called leg. And you know what this part is called? What beyond the ankle? What part is beyond the ankle? You can pick up now. You guys have something, I don't know how you are being prepared so far, but I am lucky, okay? So tell me, what is this part called? And this is called foot. This is called foot. So thigh, leg, foot, thigh, leg, foot, thigh, leg, foot, arm, forearm, hand, arm, forearm, hand, thigh, leg, foot, thigh, leg, foot, mottam, hind limb or lower limb. This mottam, this one upper limb or forelimb. Upper limb के parts arm, forearm, hand. Lower limb के parts thigh, leg, foot. Okay, I hope this is clear. The terminology, we have to be very cautious when we are using the terminology. Now, do you see something that if you see closely observe, but a 907, and no, I don't want to, you people are hungry and take your meals at the right time. I hope that I was able to make you understand, and this is from my side today. And we will be, when we have a morning class, then we can extend a little bit if we have a study hour later. But right now, it is a high time. Okay, bachcho? And please remind me, please remind me, sir, you were telling proximal and distal. Sir, you were telling proximal and distal, and to my other students also, okay, my children there in YouTube, proximal and distal, and you also here, proximal and distal, remind karna hai, okay. Humered elbow joint here, okay, yeah, so humerus and radius ulna, that is the elbow joint, humerus and the scapula. Okay, we'll right now, if you have a personal one-to-one doubt, you can anytime drop me a message. You can anytime drop me a message, but only this will work for a message and nothing else. And don't try to call this number also. Just a WhatsApp message. Write your name, and thus, for example, if your name is Akanksha, okay, or if your name is Akash, okay, Akash, in the bracket, just write down gift. That's it. And you can write. And the number which I want to share with you is 988-717 and 333-335. 988-717 and 333-5. So this is a WhatsApp number to be used only for WhatsApp. How to write it, Akash, and if your name is Akash, you can write Akash and gift. It is better if you can write gift 2024. I can quickly see how much I have to tell you, what I have to answer you. And so summarizing, on the next turn, I will be summarizing also. I do remember what all I have done. So right now, because I said that we are ending the class, otherwise 10 more minutes to summary. Okay, bacho, God bless you all. God bless you. I hope you like this class. You understand mainly. Liking will come when your marks will come. Then you start liking. But right now, understanding is important. Good night. God bless. Say my namaste to your parents, to the elders, my namaste. Bye-bye. Take care. God bless. Bye. स्क्रीनशॉट तो आप ले सकते हो बेटा. अब इसके पहले का तो मुझे पता नहीं, स्क्रीनशॉट ये तो आ जाएगा स्क्रीनशॉट इजीली, ठीक है। और बोर्ड का स्क्रीनशॉट, तो बोर्ड का स्क्रीनशॉट आई विल शेयर दिस, शेयर कर देता हूँ बोर्ड का स्क्रीनशॉट। आई थिंक इट्स नॉट शेयरेबल, so you can take the screenshot if you want. So this is the screenshot.